Good morning and welcome back to Keeping Cows Moving YouTube page. Now today we are seeing a cow that you guys have seen on the channel a couple times before, and that is cow number 247. Now she had issues with both her back feet, but hopefully today this is going to be the last time we see her. Fingers crossed she's going to be doing much better. So let's get into this video and let's see how she's doing. So today you're actually joining us on a farm in Cornwall. These guys are milking 300 to 400 cows and they are incredibly high yielding cows. So 247 is probably milking about 50 litres per day. They're a 12,500 litre average, which is massive. And to get that yield, we have to give these cows' feet a lot of TLC and a lot of care. But somewhere waiting in this group is cow number 247. But now let's revisit her journey so far. So when she first visited us, her back right claw had a small issue on the medial, which is quite unusual to see. So we rubber blocked her with a little bit of Hoof Grip Pro and wrapped her, but that wasn't our main concern. Our main concern was her massive hoof ulcer on her back left hoof. Now, the farmer has already trimmed that cow and relieved some of the pressure that was going on this hoof. But we still need to put a shoe on. Using Hoof Grip Pro, which at the time was a glue that I hadn't used on anything other than wood blocks, because this was a brand new block that we were using, BD Supply's block. They're now a staple block for us to use, but I had no idea how it was going to work. So stay tuned to see that. We then need to delicately remove any loose horn that's left, and then she is good to go. I think the old shoe was just pinching ever so slightly, not giving her enough clearance. So we've given her a new shoe. This is a hard wearing plastic, and then there's a thin rubber layer here, which should give her the long wearing, but also the comfort. So that is what we're aiming for with this shoe. Let's see how she walks out with two of these shoes on it. So that was her first trim, and I'm sure you'll agree she walked out pretty beautifully for a big cow with two shoes on. Now let's get ready for her first recheck. Drop a comment down below, A, if you think she's going to be doing any better, but B, do you think she's going to have kept her shoes on? As we said in the original one, it's a brand new shoe we were using, so let us know. Right, let's get in to recheck number 1. And as you can see, this block didn't stay on like we wanted, but will the hoof have healed? Let's find out. We are now going to put a little bit of heat on this hoof. I do wonder if this glue just needs that little bit of heat to dry it out. So we are just changing how we're blocking ever so slightly, but we are using hoof tight winter as it's a little bit colder. Whacking this block on, and let's see if this one will stay on until a recheck in 4 weeks time. Now we did check her back right hoof. I forgot to press film, but she was all healed up and looking much better. But in 4 weeks time, when we see this girl again, I will be showing you guys how her other hoof is doing. So stay tuned for that and make sure you subscribe. You can see here just how much hoof has grown back during this 4 week period. I was actually really surprised how well this hoof was doing. Look at the comparison. What a difference this has made to this cow. And she is now looking much better, but there was barely anything left on this hoof, and she is looking like she's going to make a really good full recovery. Now, there is still just a little bit left that we need to remove, but there is a drastic difference between how she was on her last visit. Now, this cow, number 247, she is massive. She's got to be weighing in at 750 kilos at least, and that is a lot of pressure on 8 tiny little toes. So she clearly needs a little bit of TLC on these feet. Now, I have just touched the dermatitis that's within this ulcer here. That's why you're seeing a little bit of claret, but we're going to wrap her up. She will be good to go. As there is still a little bit of this ulcer left in this hoof, this farm has a little bit of an issue with dermatitis, so we are going to wrap with Intracare. We're going to wrap with an Intracare bandage, which they're completely biodegradable. Awesome. How many bandages do you guys think are used on farms? Have a guess. Now, she is obviously still a little bit tender on that hoof, but she has actually healed up really much better than I was expecting. But unfortunately, she had lost her block. I'm not sure when. I would say pretty recently. And yeah, hopefully 4 weeks time, we're going to be looking at that. And she, I'm just looking at her cow, licking me. And she is going to be completely healed up. She's walked out quite nicely. Right, now we just need to get our way through these cows. They are the biggest cows I go to. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, and these cows are pretty close to my height, some of them. Don't know if you can see. Look at the size. They are huge cows. Just need to shut this door down. Which is not so easy one-handed, I tell you. That was nearly the end of my fingers. Whew. Rip me glove clean off. Right, let's get these cows back and they can chill, get back to eating. Oh, that tickled. Now, here we are in the present day with me rewiring my trailer lights. Luckily, I've still got my fingers to do that. So now let's get this beautiful KVK to the farm and let's see how cow number 247's doing. As you can see, where the block had been on this outside hoof, it caused just a little bit of pressure here. You can see there is a slight bruise just coming, which in a minute we're going to need to check. But we are just going to put a little bit of balance into this misshapen medial claw. Bring the levels slightly off. What we're aiming for is to create a little bit of an angle so it just will relieve the pressure on this slight bruise. As you'll see in a minute, this bruise is not bothering this cow at all, but we just need to make sure. I don't want this cow going backwards in any way because she has now had an issue on this medial claw, on this inside toe. She will probably end up with an issue every lactation from now on unless this is managed. So I need to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure this gal is as comfortable as possible. And now let's take a look at her back left hoof. Now, you may notice I'm still getting used to these paddles. This video was shot, a couple months ago, and I was very much still getting used to this KVK, so it's still a little bit of a learning curve. But let's see exactly where she had this huge ulcer. Now, there is still bruising there. Now, that's normally the first stage of an ulcer, and this is her just healing up. There's still clearly some sort of imbalance in this hoof, and that is why she's got this bruise. So just to make sure, we're going to block this cow. Give her a week, she will be absolutely fine. So we're just going to put a little bit of texture into this hoof, a little bit of heat, we're going to block it, and then you'll see this girl leave. And I'm sure you guys will all admit she is looking way better than she looked on trim number 1.
She is a big cow. This might one at the back. But on a mobility score, she is perfect mobility. Now, that is actually her journey done for this lactation. She is going to go dry after this trim. So we will not be seeing her for, probably 3 months. But what do you guys think? Do you think when we see her again, she's going to be doing any better? I think as long as we're keeping an eye on her, we're checking her, seeing her as regularly as possible, she's going to be absolutely fine. If you guys enjoy what you watch, make sure to smash that subscribe, and we will see you guys next Thursday. Catch you then.